It is almost midnight, and that means two things. First of all, it is time for the Spfl review show, and secondly, Michael Beale has almost survived the day after losing 3-1 to Aberdeen at Ibrox. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. Ready here for the Spfl review show. What a day for Scottish football, and what a day for Michael Beale. He must have thought he had the opportunity to try and catch Celtic in the league, and it turns out that opportunity disappeared, and the only thing he might be getting the opportunity for is to go down to the job centre on Monday morning, because after defeat to Aberdeen and falling 7 points behind Celtic at the top of the table, it no longer looks good for Beale ball. But we'll talk more about the Premiership when we get to it. We're going to go through the lower leagues first and make our way to the top of the pyramid. So first up, with Dumbarton beating Stranraer by 3-1. Tony Wallace and Ryan Wallace both getting on the score sheet. I'm not sure if there is a connection there. Is there a relation? Not entirely sure, but it was a 3-1 win thanks to the Wallace. We'll just call them the Wallace brothers for now. I'm not sure if they're brothers or not. Who cares? 2 goals for those guys. Michael Roof, 3-1. Dumbarton, boom. East Fife won 4-1 at the Timber Bayview Stadium. Stuart Morrison getting a late equaliser in the 82nd minute for Forfar. I think I predicted 1-1 in this game, so I did pretty well with that. Peterhead. How the heck do you lose to Peterhead? Peterhead, I mean, I'm not saying no disrespect, but they're hardly the greatest side of all time, and I didn't expect them to beat anybody 6-0, but they've done that. They beat Elgin City by 6-0 at the Balmore Stadium, so fair play to them. Hamish Ritchie getting the last goal, and it's a good Scottish name, that, isn't it? Hamish. Maybe Rangers could do with someone called Hamish up front, but nah, good win for Peterhead, 6-0. A decent wee attendance there as well, 687 people showing up there. Stenhousemuir 2, Clyde 2. Just I think I predicted this, or did I say? I think I might have said Stenhousemuir actually, because I'm pretty sure Stenhousemuir's been at the top of the table. And then another 2-2 draw between the Spartans and Bonnyrigg Rose. Another game where I predicted a win for Spartans, and it did not happen, although they did come from 2-0 down to get a point. So in the end, seems like a pretty good point for the Spartans. And as we now look at the league table, Peterhead are top. Wasn't expecting to see Peterhead top of this table, but there you go, guys. Stranger things have happened. Peterhead lead from Stenhousemuir on 15, then it's Dumbarton 14, Bonnyrigg Rose 12, then you got the Spartans and Stranraer on 11, Forfar 8, East Fife 7, Clyde in 6th, and Elgin City in 5. This league seems competitive though, you know, there's not many points separating the teams. I feel like anybody can beat anybody in this league, and I think that's the good thing about League 2. I mean, Peterhead might be top at the moment, but you could check in 10 games time and they could easily be in the bottom half of the table, so I do think it's a tough one to call. I said the Spartans. I'm still probably going to stick with the Spartans. I think it's between the Spartans and Dumbarton, but we'll see. That's my prediction. We'll see if it happens come the end of the season. Moving into League 1. Stirling Albion 2, Cove Rangers 2. A late goal for Connor Sully got Cove Rangers a point there. It was the late kick-off at the Forthbank Stadium. Not sure why it was a late kick-off, but a late kick-off it was. And that 92nd minute goal then, very late indeed, coming at what? Almost about 7:15, 20 minutes past 7. Probably one of the late goals. Cove Rangers normally not playing at that time, so unfamiliar territory for them. Falkirk defeated Montrose by 3-2 in a game that was a lot closer than I expected, and they were relying on a Callum Morrison brace, with the second of those goals coming in the 93rd minute to get Falkirk over the line. I don't think many people expected Montrose to put up this much of a fight, but they did. Fair play to Montrose, but in the end they do leave empty-handed, and Falkirk get all 3 points. Kelty Hearts 3, Queen of the South 1. Continues to be a bad run of form for Marvin Bartley, and he is beginning to struggle now. I think that's 6 games without a win. I want to say 6 games without. I could be wrong. I think it's 6 without a win. It's either 6 or 5. But yeah, Queen of the South started the season pretty strongly, and I think some people were predicting that they could maybe push Falkirk, but since then they've went backwards, and today was a poor defeat for them, especially after going 1-0 up. But Kelty Hearts, it's a good victory for them, and Michael Tidster stealed it in the 94th minute with that third goal for them. Hamilton in the Friday kick-off 5-0 against Annan Athletic. Already covered that. Good win for Hamilton. And as we look at the top of the table, it's Falkirk and Hamilton both leading the way. And they're still to play each other. That's the next game in League One. Falkirk versus Hamilton. What a game that's going to be. Both teams unbeaten. Both teams only dropped 2 points so far this season. It's going to be a two-way shootout, isn't it, really? Let's be honest, at this point, it's going to be these two teams battling for the championship spot, and it's going to be interesting to see who gets it. Will it be Falkirk? Will it be Hamilton? Will the next game between them tell that? Who knows? I think it will be Falkirk, but the way Hamilton's playing, they're even goal difference-wise, Hamilton's keeping up with Falkirk in the goal-scoring department as well. So Hamilton doing a little bit better than I expected them. So good to see, rather than just fading away. Arbroath 2, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 3. Great start for Duncan Ferguson. Could not have asked for a better start. It was Lewis Longstaff getting him into the lead 10 minutes in. Then Aaron Duran and Billy Mackay made it 3-0. However, Arbroath did make a comeback. Scott Stewart and Michael McKenna pulled two back. I think Duncan Ferguson would have probably murdered his entire team had they not held out for this win, but hold out they did, and that's a big victory for Inverness Caledonian Thistle. And already just the league table will look massively different now, and Inverness will have confidence, and they went for looking like a team that was maybe on the way down to a team that will want to look above them now and try and get themselves out of danger. So all it takes is a manager change, a couple of quick wins, and your entire season can turn around, and maybe Inverness Caledonian Thistle will be proof of that. Ayr United 1, Raith Rovers 2. I expected Ayr United to win this one. Got it wrong. Raith Rovers picked up the victory. Dylan Easton brace there was enough to get them the 3 points. Dundee United 4, Queen's Park 1. Queen's Park took the lead in the first minute through Jack Thompson, and at this point you're thinking maybe there could be an upset, but no. Tannadice got behind their team, and Dundee United ran out 4-1 winners, and pretty comfortable in the end there with Tony Watt, McMahon, Tony Watt and Fotheringham with the goals. And Airdrie piled more pressure on Greenock Morton. It was Airdrie 1, Greenock Morton 0, and I believe that result now sees Inverness go level with points on Greenock Morton. So yeah, Greenock Morton in trouble, in free fall. Will Dougie Emery be the next manager to go? Possibly, because results just have not been there at the moment, and you know, we've seen that sometimes getting rid of a manager works. If you do it early enough, you can still salvage a season. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Greenock Morton making a change soon. And Partick Thistle defeated Dunfermline by 3-0, thanks to goals for Scott Robinson, Brian Graham and Kerr McEnroy. And if we look at the Championship League table, we can see that Dundee United still lead the way, but they're being closely followed by Raith Rovers. Then there's a bit of a gap further back to Partick Thistle, who've got 13 points. Arbroath with 12 points, but a game played more. Airdrie and Dunfermline then in 5th and 6th. Queen's Park in 7th. Ayr United in 8th, and like I said, Inverness now level on points with Greenock Morton, but due to having superior goal difference, actually go above Morton, and Morton now find themselves down in last place, and it's not looking good for Morton. They won their opening game of the season, and since then they've only picked up 1 point out of a possible 18, so I'm not saying Dougie Emery should be sacked, but he is running out of time to save his job. I think he needs a win soon, within the next couple of weeks. How many more defeats can he afford before the gavel comes down and relieves him of his duties? And moving into the Premier League, the top division of Scottish football, Hibs 0, Dundee 0. What can we say about this game? Shocking game. Honestly, I expected Hibs to win this comfortably, and I've gave Dundee praise this season, but I just thought Hibs were playing good stuff with Nick Montgomery coming in, the attacking players that Hibs have on display. I thought Hibs would have won this about maybe 2-3-0, maybe concede a goal. I thought Hibs would have been the winners though, and they didn't. They couldn't score. 0-0 draw here at Easter Road, and it's a good point for Dundee. Very good point for Dundee. Not such a good point, though, for Nick Montgomery's Hibernian. At Rugby Park, it was Kilmarnock 1, St Mirren 1. Brad Lyons got the goal in the 19th minute for Kilmarnock. A Kyle McGuinness own goal got St Mirren back in it. With 31 minutes gone, and then for the next hour, nobody could find a winner, and it played out. Kelly 1, St Mirren 1. I think both teams will take this. Kilmarnock, I don't think could afford to lose this game. They really were beginning to slip away. Their good start to the season pretty much evaporated. Had they lost another home game, I'm not saying Derek McKenzie's in danger of getting fired or anything like that, but the good start has well and truly gone, and had they lost again today, then it's a bad start, you've got to be honest, especially now that they're at the Cup and everything. So I think they need at least a point, and they got that. And as for St Mirren, they remain unbeaten. I think they maybe would have obviously liked to have kept the pressure on Celtic, but Kilmarnock's a difficult place to go. Let's be real, start of the season, I think if you offer Stephen Robinson a point at Rugby Park, he probably takes it. So I think he'll be happy with that. I think a draw is probably a good result for both teams. It's a difficult place to go, and St Mirren proving though that they're a difficult team to beat, so that's what it is. Moving on to Ibrox then, the big game of the day, the talking point of the day. Let's talk about it. Rangers 1, Aberdeen 3. James Tavernier, Scott Wright and Connor Goldson picked up bookings for Rangers, but the important thing is here, Scott Wright picked up more than one booking. He got 2 bookings. I don't think it was a sending off though. I want to say that straight away. I don't think Scott Wright deserved to be sent off, but let's be honest, if Scott Wright stays on the pitch, do Rangers win the game? I don't think so. I don't see Rangers coming back for 2-0 down. You could maybe argue they get a draw, but I just don't see it. I thought Rangers, when Aberdeen went in front, I felt like Rangers just folded. They played well for the opening half an hour. They did have chances, but Dessers is a donkey. He is the Nigerian nightmare, and I'm sure he is giving Michael Beale nightmares every single night. Beale's head hits the pillow because he has to accept that he's brought him in. He's paid big money for this guy, and he fucking sucks. There's no two ways about that. So, yeah, no, Rangers had chances in the first half, but they fell to Dessers. Now, had Rangers kept Cholak, had Rangers maybe went out and signed, I don't know, a Lawrence Shankland, someone that can actually put the ball in the back of the net, could Rangers have been multiple goals up here in the first half against Aberdeen? Probably, yeah, possibly. Why not? But they don't. They've Dessers up front, and this guy can't do shit. So Rangers never took their chances. Stefan Gartenmann with a set piece. He just... Originally I thought it was a header. After seeing it again, he slides in. It's like a sliding tackle into the back of the net. Poor goal to concede for Rangers. Just the marking was nowhere near him. Second half, Jamie McGrath. After about 8, 9, 10 Aberdeen shots, Butland having to make Superman save after Superman save. Finally, he was beaten by Jamie McGrath, who got the ball in the back of the net. Scott Wright was sent off. I don't think it was a red card, to be fair. Seema pulled one back. Again, I thought the goalkeeping for Roos was a bit poor. But Rangers thought they got themselves back into it. But McKenzie was like, nah, not happening. And then his shot came off the crossbar, under bit of the crossbar, what you want to call it, and it went into the back of the net, and that gave Rangers a 3-1 deficit, and they never came back for that, and Aberdeen deserved to win the day they did. Got to be honest here, Aberdeen deserved it. Stephen McLean, I mean, I thought he was pretty poor, but you can't blame Stephen McLean on this today, and I know Rangers are saying the third goal as well shouldn't have counted, but if Aberdeen's third goal shouldn't count, then Rangers' goal against Livingston shouldn't have counted, because it's the same sort of thing, isn't it? Just pushing and shoving. So we need a bit of consistency. I think the referees all over the place in Scottish football. You know, it's even the same referees make different decisions. It's like, what are they doing? So I think the Aberdeen goal, I thought it was fair, the third goal. I would have probably gave it, but whatever. Like, it's 3-1 to Aberdeen. Michael Beale was in serious trouble. I'm surprised he survived, honestly. I thought he might have been sacked at the end of the match. He survived the rest of the night. I don't think he'll be sacked on Sunday. Will he survive Monday though? I think Monday will be if he survives Monday, then he's got the next game. But I wouldn't be surprised if Monday morning Michael Beale is told to pack his bags and leave. Of course, we do have another international break coming up, so maybe he's going to stick around for that. We have more European fixtures coming up. I believe Rangers are travelling to Cyprus, is it? Are Rangers going to Cyprus? Can't even remember. Who's in Rangers? Or is it Sparta Prague? No, is it Cyprus? I can't even remember. But I know Rangers have got a European fixture coming up as well. So, yeah, big games coming up for Rangers. Will Michael Beale be the man to lead them into those games? Don't know. but at the moment, it's not looking good for him. Looking good for Hearts, though, recently. Bounced back here, another away win after defeating Kilmarnock in the Cup. It was a 1-0 win against Ross County, an Alan Forrest header with 20 minutes to go. Goal at absolutely nothing. On loan Rangers man Lowry with the cross for about 40 yards out, in swinger, and the wee man Forrest, out of all people, is probably the smallest man on the pitch, wins the header and puts it into the back of the net. Wasn't expecting Alan Forrest's header to be the only goal to set these sides apart, but I mean, that's what happened today, so fair play, Alan Forrest. A big win for Hearts and a much needed win for Hearts. And then at McDermott Park, it was St Johnstone 1, Livingston 1. St Johnstone took the lead through Dara Costello, but Sean Kelly equalised for the penalty spot from Livingston. Liam Gordon got sent off late on. Again, I thought they got it wrong. I don't think it's a sending off at all. His foot is slightly up, but there's no malicious intent. He doesn't even make contact with Joel Newbley, and I'm sick of this bullshit reasoning where, well, if he did make contact, he could have injured. Well, he didn't make contact with him, so fucking what? You know, why are we sending players off for things that might have happened? Let's just talk about things that did happen. Did he break Newbley's leg? No. Did he hurt Newbley? No. Did he, commit a bad tackle on Newbley? No. Did he follow through on Newbley? Barely. So, why is the fact that there's a possibility, there's a 1% chance he could have injured him, so we're going to send him off? What the fuck is this shite? No. Wasn't a red card tackle. Liam Gordon should have stayed on the pitch. Simple as that. Referee got it wrong. And it was a 1-1 draw. I think Davy Martindale, he's not lost to anybody this season that isn't the old firm, so that continues his record. St Johnstone, did they need a win? They're 4 points adrift. A win for them would have been massive. It's still early in the season. I'm not saying they're down, but it's not looking good. These are the kind of games I think St Johnstone need to start winning if they're going to try and stay in the league. And they were close today, they kept themselves in the game, but going down to 10 men didn't help. And I just think they'll be glad they didn't lose it. Had they lost this 2-1, what a blow that would have been. But they managed to hold on for now. And finally, guys, Motherwell 1, Celtic 2. Another shite game of football. I know Celtic will be pleased that they've won and all that. And here, fair play to you. But this Brendan Rodgers side is not a great team. It's not playing good football. It's not convincingly winning games. Brendan Rodgers is not Ange Postecoglou. He's nowhere near the level of Ange Postecoglou, and you can celebrate this win like it's a great win, but in reality, I mean, it's not. It was a snorefest of a match. It was 0-0 right up until the 87th minute, and Celtic barely created anything. This is just not the Celtic team we're used to seeing under Ange Postecoglou. When did Celtic ever get to the 80th minute 0-0? Very fucking rare. Every time Ange sent his team out, you were expecting 3 or 4 goals a game. With this Brendan Rodgers team, you're not expecting that. Celtic being 0-0 with Motherwell today at the 87th minute didn't even surprise me. I mean, they drew 0-0 with St Johnstone, for God's sake. They're not a team that's cutting open defences, and Celtic are struggling to win games, and they're just not good enough. And they might have won this game, but it wasn't convincing. And sooner or later, Brendan Rodgers' luck will run out. They might be the best team in the league, but they're not a great side, let's be real. Lewis Palmer's shot, let's call it a shot, but it wasn't a shot, it was a cross. Celtic TV were giving them a lot more credit than he deserves. Blair Spittle got the equaliser late on in the 95th minute, and at that point you're thinking surely there is not enough time left, but there was enough time left, and Matt O'Reilly, a 97th minute, managed to get Celtic back in front, and that was pretty much the final kick of the ball. The ref did play like another minute. Motherwell did launch one up, but they got another corner as well. Motherwell's corners were poor. They had 2 corners in the last 10 minutes, and both corners couldn't beat the first man, which was disappointing. Did Celtic deserve the win today? I thought it was a pretty even game. Had it finished a draw, there would have been no complaints. They got lucky here. They did. They got very lucky. Lewis Palmer and Matt O'Reilly. I mean, the O'Reilly goal was good, but the Palmer goal was an absolute fluke. And on another day, they would have dropped 2 points here. But lucky for them, they did not. And Brendan Rodgers, he's overrated. He is over fucking rated. And watching this Celtic team, it's not fun. You watched Ange Postecoglou's Celtic, they would dominate teams, rip teams to stretch. You feel like they could score at will, and this Rodgers team just does not have that. It's boring. It's slower, more possession based, just passes going nowhere. It's like sidewards passing, backwards passing. I mean, this Rodgers ball is certainly not Ange ball, that's for sure. Anyway, Celtic lead the way at the top of the table, 19 points. Then we have St Mirren in second place with 15. Rangers now drop further behind St Mirren. They are 3 points behind. Hearts move into fourth with 10 points. Then it's Motherwell in fifth with 10. Hibernian on 8. Aberdeen on 8. Kilmarnock 7. Dundee 7. Livingston 7. Ross County 7. And St Johnstone 3rd. So very tight here. I mean, 11th place Ross County with 1 win could move into top 6. So it's very, very close. I wouldn't really care too much here about these league positions because, like I say, there's 1 point separating 6 teams. So, I mean, you can be 6th here, but next week you can be 11th. You can be 11th, but next week you can be 6th. I think the next few games are going to be important. We will see teams pull away. We'll see teams drop off. And, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next few weeks and once we come back for the international break. But for St Johnstone, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for St Johnstone. And it's not looking good for Rangers. The title's over. Let's be honest, the title's over. 7 points at the moment. They play St Mirren next week. And if they lose to St Mirren, I think it's not even if they lose to St Mirren, it's not even a question of the league's over. If they lose to St Mirren, I think we truly need to ask here, is there a legit battle for second here? If St Mirren can open up a 6 point gap, then at what point do we really believe that St Mirren can possibly keep up this good form? And because let's be honest, it's not the way Rangers are playing. It's not like you need to be fantastic. You know, you could just play half decent and get second place by the looks of things. So, yeah, maybe we need to stop focusing on the battle for the title and start looking at the battle for second, because that could be. And there's a Champions League spot still up for grabs for second place. So, could you imagine that? Imagine St Mirren in the Champions League. I tell you what, if they beat Rangers next week, it might seem like a possibility. I know it's very early in the season, but St Mirren look good at the moment, and Rangers do not. They don't. Anyway, that's it, guys. Not a lot to talk about here. Well, lots to talk about, but I've talked about enough earlier. Went on a big rant during both of the Celtic and Rangers game earlier, so just don't want to repeat myself. There is your SPFL review show. We'll catch you in the next one. If Beale gets sacked tomorrow, we'll talk about it. We'll probably talk about it anyway, because I think he deserves to be sacked. Plus, we put a poll up, so I'll probably make a video on that poll and have a look at the results and stuff like that. Anyway, guys, that's it. Catch you in the next one. Bean Fog Football. Thanks for watching, and peace.